Justin Becker here for TheRugged.com. Welcome to the Thanksgiving edition of Bench or Flex. We're going to cook up some great pickups this week so you can devour the waiver wire. And I promise no tryptophan, so you won't have to worry about that sleepy feeling. See what I did there with the Thanksgiving food? Okay, I'll stop now and get to the pickups. Major injury this week with Akeem Nicks out. He's going to be out at least 3 weeks. Steve Smith probably also out this week. So who are we going to pick up there? It looks like Mario Manningham's going to be getting the #1 slot for the New York Giants this week, with Derek Hagan being in the #2. I really like Mario Manningham this week. They're playing the Jags. Terrible pass defense. He's definitely a must-get. Also, Colt McCoy's out this week. Now, I'm hoping that none of you really own Colt McCoy in many leagues, but it means a lot for you Peyton Hillis owners out there. I think he's going to get even more carries this week, possibly around 20 points. He's going to be a top 3 back this week, easy. And if you have any Browns receivers, and I hope you don't, please, from the bottom of my heart, drop them. It will give you some good options here. And the 2 best options at wide receiver this week, of course, Vincent Jackson and Sidney Rice. Vincent Jackson finally back from his suspension, is going to be able to play. Sidney Rice played a little bit last week and was getting some looks. If I had to pick one, I would definitely pick up Vincent Jackson first, then pick up Sidney Rice. V-Jack's definitely your guy here. Beyond those 2, if those 2 are not available, I'm going to talk about Mike Thomas and James Jones. Both had touchdowns last week. They should get you around that 8 to 12 points. To get you some decent points if you need someone in that flex position. Definitely not worth a slot in that #1 or #2 slot on your team. Talking about running backs, someone who's a really hot commodity this week is Kalen Williams. Last week I said he was a great pickup, and he got about 8 points last week. Portis definitely stealing some carries over there in Washington, but I expect a huge game from Williams. He could be getting between 8 to 15 points this week, depending on the carries. Worth a pickup. Another guy we talked about last week, Mike Goodson, had another great consistent week, had 115 yards, 15 points. He's definitely becoming the main back in Carolina. He could lead you all the way to the playoffs. Worth a waiver wire there. Now, going on to quarterbacks, my favorite pickup of the week, John Kitna. He has 2 weeks of 20 or more points there with Dallas, and look who they're playing, the Saints. Terrible secondary, got him at home. Love John Kitna this week. Now, if John Kitna's picked up in your league, a couple guys we've talked about in the past, I really still like them a lot. You have Sam Bradford, Josh Freeman. They're both available in most leagues. I think they're going to get around 15 to 20 points this week. So you really have a lot of options and a lot of depth at quarterback, so I really wouldn't worry about it. Go just put a waiver out there. You should get one of those 3 guys, easy schmeezy. Finally, at tight end, I'm going to stick with 2 guys we talked about last week, and that's Todd Heap, Brandon Pettigrew. They're putting up consistent points, but one guy I really wanted to get to this week is Randy McMichael for the Chargers. He's the backup for Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates still having a problem with that plantar fasciitis. I'm not sure he's going to go. Luckily, he's not playing Monday Night Football this week, so that way we'll know a little bit earlier on his injury update. Speaking of injury updates, the easiest way to keep tabs of all your favorite players and their statuses, follow me on Twitter. You can follow us on TheRugged.com on Twitter or at @TheJustinBecker. That way, when you're eating turkey, rubbing your belly, you don't have to worry about who you're starting. You'll know because I told you. That's it for this week, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. Talk to you next time.